I'm just glad that God never let go. I was born in Yugoslavia. My mum had me out of wedlock, which was a big deal back then. It comes across that she was a loose woman, you know. So because of that, through all my life, she had this love-hate with me because I was also the representing of her shame as well. She tried to abort me, didn't work. She did the best she could, but she wasn't very maternal. So, you know, and I grew with that. All I, as a kid, remember is she drank a lot, angry a lot. And so, yeah, I got, like, physically abused a lot, you know, because she was always angry or she'd be drunk or whatever, you know. So that was part of my childhood. And then at a very young age, I was molested by family friends and by someone else, and then someone else, you know, as life went on. It just... And as a kid, you don't know why people do that sort of thing. You keep thinking you've done something wrong and you feel very shamed by it. What it does, it wakens you sexually very young. Takes away your innocence, so sort of thing. So I didn't even know why it was a shame. No one told me. I just felt really shameful about it. Like, I felt like I did something to make these people do this to me, you know. My very first experience, and I don't even know why my mum let me sleep with this guy. Like, we were at a friend's place and, you know, there was a limited amount of beds. I was 4. And that was my very first experience. And she let me sleep with him. I was supposed to sleep with him in bed, right? Like, it wasn't a big deal because, you know, you think adult, you know, he's a grown man, whatever. He has his own family kind of thing, you know. I didn't even know what was going on, and I woke up and I didn't know how to react, and I was 4, and I remember getting up the next day and just thinking, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't sit there and go, oh, my childhood was so much fun. You know, my childhood, all I remember is mum drinking, going out, me looking after Rob, moving schools constantly, moving places constantly until we hit Claymore, and then from Claymore, that's where I turned 13 as well, and I did my own thing. So I rebelled. Once I wasn't scared of my mum belting me anymore, it's like, what are you going to do, belt me? Who cares, you know? Then mum thought, oh, I've got to do something, I've got to change, because I got into drugs, never got into the heavy stuff somehow, and I'll say now because I know God was still there, you know, like, because I always had someone that would look out for me. If I tried to score something higher, you know, they wouldn't let me get it. And mum had her boyfriends too, and, you know, she hooked up with different people, but she still had the alcoholic thing because she was an alcoholic, you know. So she wasn't an alcoholic that drank every day, but when she drank, she wouldn't stop until she was completely like, and she was very violent then. She starts dating this guy that's 12 years younger than her. This guy was, bad news. I remember saying to him, what are you doing here? Because I had no respect for him. He was 12 years younger than her, and I'm thinking, like, my mum is older and, you know, a large woman and whatever else. And then while I was asleep, he would interfere and whatever else. I'd wake up, tell him to get lost. You know, by then it was just like it wasn't even like, oh no, it's happening again. I was just like, oh, flip, you know, sort of thing, and just get lost, you know, kind of thing. I really disliked him because he really interfered in my life, you know, with my boyfriend and whatever. Like, in a way he was good, but in a way it was bad because he wanted me to study and whatever else, but he was still interfering with me as well. So he was messed up. Because I'd go out, come home, and, you know, Milka would always be up, and we just talk and muck around, and, you know, I developed a real close relationship with him. Wrong relationship, but, you know, I trusted him, didn't trust mum, and he had other motives behind there, of course. So, and by then I fell for him. Okay, I'm 15. I felt like he really loved me, you know, like I was the apple of his eye kind of thing. Right? Mum, she's had enough. She wants to leave him, so she's leaving him, and guess what? Julie doesn't leave. Julie stays with him. So I ended up staying with him. And this is where I only not long ago realised I married my molester, my pedophile. It wasn't that he wasn't abusive towards me before then, it's just I was not scared of him. Like, he would yell at me or whatever. Like, when him and mum would fight, I would be the one that would get in front of him, and just different things, you know. And I never thought he would do that to me, because I just thought, because he loved me, he would not do that to me. Anyway, I was at mum's. It was the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day. It's like a Mother's Day kind of thing. So I went and saw mum, and I was just with her all day. He was in plaster at home, you know, in his big plaster. This is after the accident. I remember coming home, and he was angry because I was out all day, and he started calling me a slut and everything under the sun. And I'm like, I was at mum's. Like, I didn't do anything. And he was really, really verbally gross. And I remember going into the bedroom and just sitting down and go, I deserve this. He was my mum's boyfriend, and, you know, like, what disgusting person am I that would go and marry, you know, someone like that, or have, you know, continue with him. So I just kind of went, this is my life. And he was very abusive. When he got drunk, he was disgusting. He was like, not so much physical, because if I egged him on, he would be physical. He tried to choke me a few times, then he choked me a few times. That kind of physical, but not punching in the face or anything. Like, if he kicked me, he'd kick me on the ground, because I'd usually hurl abuse at him, because I was the type, you're not going to get to me. But after a while, your feistiness dies, because he kills it. My life with him was really, he could make me feel like I'm amazing, but I'd feel like trash as well. This is why I know God is real, okay? I went to a clairvoyant in October 87. This is before Milk started. She told me a whole lot of stuff, but you know, one thing she said, I can't see after 92, and she said this, it's like God put a veil there and I can't see past it. She said God put a veil there. And then I went to pay for it, and she wouldn't take my money, because she goes, no, I can't take any of your money. Now, clairvoyants, if they're real, they still can see stuff, but they've gone into the demonic spiritual realm, because they're not giving it to God. They're prophetic, right? They can see stuff, but it's not devoted to God, so therefore the devil can take it, you know, lead you. And when she said, you know, I couldn't see anything after 92, well, I remember thinking, like, when I came out here, and that last bit, it was in 92 when I found out, it was February 92 when my ex-husband rang and told me, because I was going back to Europe. I couldn't get him out, so I was going back. And I was a bit scared, because there was war and whatever else, so I was a little bit scared of that. But I thought, it's all right, I love him, I'm going to go back, you know. And then he told me Zoran died. And I cried and cried. He saw his son, went back to the army, and apparently his rifle went off, and I don't know exactly what happened. And I cried and cried and cried and cried. And I cried out to God, and I said to him, why did you take him? He had a son. Like, why would you take him? He's such a good person. Why did you take me? I'm like rubbish. Why give me a second chance? And then I heard myself say that. And I was like, I've got a second chance. And I thought, oh wow, I've got a second chance. And then I sat down and wrote my ex-husband a letter and said, I don't want this. I still love you, but I don't want to live like this. I said, I am so unhappy, you know, and I don't think it's worth it. I'm in a divorce. Do you know what my dream was? I remember falling asleep, and all I wanted is for a guy to respect me, knowing everything about me, and to respect me and just love me the way I am. That's all I wanted. And have children, of course. And I remember crying and think, that's never going to happen. Like, never. You know, falling asleep to that. And then years later, I had that. But I didn't, like, David respected me. He knew all my past because I told him everything. I was just like, I just need to get everything off my chest, you know. And he didn't see me the way I saw myself. I saw myself as dirty and gross and, like, ew, you know. And he just saw me as broken. And I remember my friend saying, because I said to her, how are babies made? Like, do you ever ask yourself how a baby's made? And so obviously God's in the midst of that. And she goes, it's a miracle from God. And I just remember going, oh, I was floored. Oh my goodness. Like, it was a revelation. It wasn't like, it was like someone switched the light on and like you had to be ready to hear it, because you could have said it any other time and I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I was just like, oh my goodness, that was, and I just kept going on, and she's looking at me going, you're kind of weird. I'm like, that's blown my mind, because that is the only explanation. There is no other. And she's like, yes. So my brother was already going to church, and he kept saying, come to church, come to church, come to church. And I'm like, I'm not going to that stupid cult of yours. It's a cult. And I'd ask all these questions. I end up going, and I remember leaving, and it was really late, and I was a smoker at the time, and I had 3 kids then. And I was leaving late at night, and the girl comes out after me, and she had a word of knowledge, which means she had a bit of insight, spiritual insight about me. God just gave her a word about me, and she said it, and I looked at her and I went, how do you know that, kind of thing. And she goes, something about, do you want to know Jesus? And I was like, can you know him? Like, I was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. Like, I've been like, if he's real, of course I want to know him, The change, when I said I felt like I'd get convicted about a lot of things, and they say, in Christ you're free, and you're really free. No, I feel bound. I feel like I can't do anything. I think, what is wrong with this freedom? I don't feel free. And then realised it was a lot of the worldly stuff that was attached to me that I felt like I couldn't do, but it wasn't a big deal anyway. Once that all dropped off, I remember driving from Rosemeadow, going to church one day and going, I feel really free. And there was superstitious stuff on me. There was like witchcraft. There was lots of things that I was bound by, scared of, can't do that because of this. And all of a sudden I felt free, that I'm fine. God has me. I'm good. I can breathe.
If you never found God, what do you think your life would look like?
Oh, I wouldn't be with David. 100%. Would I have had different partners? Definitely. It was like a fear of mine, but you actually end up doing what you don't mean to. It's just, I'm just glad that God never let go. It was just, he's the one that blocked that. And he was like, no, you've had enough. Like devil, basically. And he was leading me towards him. And was it a piece of cake? No. Not a piece of cake, but would I, at times I said I'd go through the thing all over again just to make sure I'm with God. I remember cleaning in the kitchen, right? And we're in Glen Alpine, so we're both saved, everything, and I'm washing dishes, and the thought of me crying in bed, wanting someone to respect me and love me and have children. And I was washing up and I went, oh my goodness, you gave me that before I knew you. Because I met David, we had children, he respected me, but I was not happy. I was still very broken, unhappy, we did not connect. It wasn't, like he gave me everything my heart's desires, like the deepest nobody knew, which was children and respect, right? I got that. But I was really miserable. And then I'm sitting there washing up dishes and I was like, I needed you. Like, he can give you the whole world, and you're not going to be happy until, I'm going to cry, until you find him. And sometimes you think, are you there? Are you listening? I know you're there. How come I can't hear you today? Or, you can go months without going, are you really there? Because, there's hard times and there's whatever else. And he allows you to go through that wilderness because he wants you to seek him, not seek him for things, seek him for him. Because he's real. It's just that we don't, because we can't see him, and a lot of times we can't even hear him, we kind of give up on his reality, that he's real. But he's definitely real.